Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be hanging out with you today because we are jumping right into a topic that actually came directly from you, our viewers. We received a really fantastic request asking for a deep dive into the completely redesigned Mercedes-Benz GLA. You wanted a virtual showroom tour, you wanted to know if it actually lives up to all the hype, and you wanted all the specs distilled into one clear picture. Well, asking you shall receive. Today, we're going to explore every inch of this highly anticipated vehicle, breaking down the data, the design, and the tech that makes it tick. Let's get into it. For the longest time, previous generations of the GLA were kind of brushed off as just being an A-class and SUV clothing, right? It was essentially a slightly lifted hatchback. But looking at the data for this new generation, one thing becomes incredibly clear. That era is completely over. The new GLA is a massive strategic evolution. It's transformed into a sophisticated, technology-led powerhouse that is clearly gunning to dominate the premium compact segment. This explainer is our direct response to your request to see exactly how Mercedes pulled off this glow-up by redesigning the vehicle literally from the ground up. So, what's underneath it all? The foundation of this entire transformation is the brand new Mercedes Modular Architecture, or the MMA platform. Underneath that sleek new bodywork sits this core philosophy that Mercedes likes to call a double soul. Basically, it's designed with a strict electric-first mindset, meaning the chassis and the packaging are perfectly optimized for massive batteries and electric motors. But, and this is a huge but, it leaves the flexibility to accommodate highly efficient hybrid and internal combustion engines. This phased approach means Mercedes is giving early EV adopters exactly what they want, while still keeping things versatile for drivers who aren't quite ready to ditch gas entirely. All right, Section 1, Exterior Design and Aerodynamics. Let's do a quick virtual walk-around to see what's changed on the outside and why it actually matters for your daily drive. The biggest takeaway here is that the GLA has grown in literally all the right places, and this directly solves some of the biggest gripes people had with the older models. The wheelbase, so the space between the front and rear wheels, has been stretched by 61 millimeters, bringing it to nearly 2.79 meters. It's also 31 millimeters wider and sits about 20 millimeters lower. Now, why does that matter to you? Because that extra wheelbase translates to a ton of knee room for people in the back. One reviewer from our sources, who is 5'11", noted they had totally ample space back there. Combine that with the widened muscular haunches, and it just feels so much more spacious inside while looking incredibly planted and sporty on the road. It doesn't just look muscular, though. It absolutely slices through the air. The new GLA boasts a remarkably low aerodynamic drag coefficient of just 0.27. In the chunky world of SUVs, that is a fantastic number. And this sleekness isn't just for bragging rights at the dealership, it has a very real-world impact. Less wind resistance means way less wind noise in the cabin when you're cruising on the highway, which gives you that true luxury ride. Plus, for the electric versions, it drastically improves your driving range, making sure you squeeze every possible mile out of that battery. Moving around to the front, you can really see how this builds on the new visual identity for Mercedes. Check out that striking, closed radiator grille. What's super cool about this is that it actually contains 600 individual LEDs. And they aren't just static lights. When you walk up to the car, they perform this neat little welcoming animation, and when you lock it and walk away, it gives you a totally different farewell animation. It's a tiny detail, sure, but it really gives the car a sense of personality and high-tech flair before you even open the door. Which brings us to Section 2, the high-tech cabin. Let's step inside, where the upgrades shift from physical changes to pure digital experiences. Wow, the moment you sit in the driver's seat, you are just greeted by this massive, optional MBUX superscreen. It is absolutely the crown jewel of this new cabin, stretching almost entirely across the dashboard. Our sources note that this screen setup firmly positions the GLA right at the absolute top of the premium compact segment when it comes to technology. It's incredibly bright, it's bold, and it pretty much minimizes the need for physical buttons altogether. Let's break down exactly what you're getting with this super screen because it's actually 3 distinct high-res displays beautifully integrated into one panel. First up, right behind the steering wheel, you've got a 10.3-inch digital driver display for all your critical info. In the middle, there's a 14-inch central infotainment screen for your climate, maps, and settings, but the third part is where it gets really wild, a dedicated 14-inch passenger screen. Your front seat passenger can literally stream content like YouTube or Disney Plus while you drive. And if you're wondering, wait, isn't that super distracting? Mercedes thought of that. There is a clever little camera monitoring the driver's eyes. If you try to peek at the passenger screen for too long, the system automatically dims it from your angle so you can't see it, forcing your eyes right back to the road. Pretty brilliant.
Beyond just the screens, this system itself is incredibly smart, mostly thanks to the native integration of generative AI directly into the MBUX voice assistant. You don't need to memorize stiff, robotic command phrases anymore. You can just talk to the car naturally. If you're driving and you just say, "Hey Mercedes, I feel cold," the AI understands the context of what you mean and automatically bumps up the climate control. Over time, it even learns your daily habits, like your regular commute routes or your favorite radio stations, and starts offering proactive suggestions.
And the tech magic doesn't stop at the dashboard. If you look up, the GLA offers a sky control roof. This is an electrochromatic panoramic glass roof that one of our sources literally described as witchcraft. With just the touch of a button, you can change the transparency of the glass, dialing in exactly how open or shaded you want the cabin to be. As a brilliant little finishing touch, the glass features these tiny Mercedes star logos that actually illuminate at night, giving you your very own private starry sky right inside the car. Moving right along to Section 3, powertrains, range, and charging. Let's pop the hood, or, check the battery, to explore that double sole architecture we talked about earlier. Looking at the pure electric launch lineup, there are three main tiers. Things kick off with the GLA 200, which gives you a very solid 221 horsepower. But the real showstopper here is the mid-range GLA 250 Plus. With 268 horsepower and a massive 85 kilowatt-hour battery, this specific model boasts an unbelievable WLTP range of 657 kilometers. That is about 408 miles. This is a massive leap forward that completely kills range anxiety and makes this compact SUV a legitimate long-distance road tripper. Finally, for the speed demons out there, you've got the all-wheel drive GLA 35 4MATIC, which sacrifices a little bit of range to rocket from 0 to 62 in just 5.4 seconds. So, what happens when you finally do need to plug in? This is where the MMA platform's 800-volt electrical architecture really flexes its muscles. Because it runs at 800 volts, the GLA can take in DC fast charging at blazing speeds up to 320 kilowatts. To put that into perspective for your next road trip, under optimal conditions, you can recover 160 miles of range in just 10 minutes. That means you can pull over, order a coffee, drink it, and by the time you're tossing your cup in the trash, the car is ready for the next massive leg of your journey. Building this car electric first also brings some pretty sweet packaging perks. Because there's no bulky engine up front in the EV models, you get a 107-liter frunk or front trunk. This is surprisingly deep. It's actually bigger than what you'd find in a Tesla Model 3 and can easily swallow a full carry-on size suitcase, rather than just being a tiny cubby for your charging cables. Inside the cabin, the lack of a traditional transmission tunnel running down the middle means you get a completely flat floor in the back, which means fantastic footroom for whoever gets stuck in the middle seat. But we definitely can't forget the other half of that double sole. Mercedes knows that not every single buyer is ready to jump into full electric just yet. So for those drivers, they offer some stellar hybrid options, like the GLA 250e plug-in hybrid. This one pairs a 1.3-liter gas engine with an electric motor to give you a combined 218 horsepower. And the best part? It gives you up to 70 kilometers of electric-only range. So you can totally do your daily school run or commute on pure electricity, but still have the gas engine as a backup for those big weekend getaways. All right, Section 4, trims, pricing, and the verdict. Let's head over to the virtual showroom finance desk to talk about how you can spec this thing and what the bottom line looks like. Mercedes is offering a really clear trim ladder to help you customize the GLA exactly how you want it. It kicks off with a sport trim, giving you 18-inch alloys and LED headlights right out of the gate. Stepping up to the Sport Exec adds super nice conveniences like keyless entry and adaptive high beams. If you want a much more aggressive vibe, the AMG line Premium and Premium Plus trims add sport seats, massive 19 or 20-inch wheels, and a slightly lowered comfort suspension. And finally, for the very first time on the GLA, they are offering the Stealthy Night Edition, which blacks out all the exterior accents for a highly exclusive, super sleek look. So the golden question, what is this going to cost you? The pricing strategy here is actually highly competitive. The entry point for the GLA range starts at approximately £45,000, or right around 47,000 euros. Obviously, if you step up to those massive 85 kilowatt-hour batteries, or you opt for the top-tier Night Edition, that number is going to climb. But at this base price, Mercedes is positioning the GLA really aggressively against heavy hitters in the space, like the BMW iX1, the Audi Q4 e-tron, and the Volvo XC40. To wrap up what our sources are saying today, there is a quote that really hits the nail on the head regarding the new GLA. They called it a project that unites high electric efficiency, great habitability, and advanced technology. It really is no longer just some entry-level stepping stone into the Mercedes brand.
It's matured. It's an incredibly well-thought-out evolution that directly solves the space and packaging flaws of the older models, while seriously pushing the boundaries of what's possible with in-cabin AI and charging speeds.
Which leaves us with one pretty big final thought. By offering over 400 miles of range, a massive high-tech superscreen, and the freedom to choose between full EV or a plug-in hybrid, has Mercedes actually created the ultimate compromise-free compact luxury SUV? It certainly makes a very, very compelling case. I want to extend a massive thank you to the viewer who specifically requested this explainer, and to all of you for hanging out and spending your valuable time with us today to learn all about it. Keep your curiosity high, keep sending in those amazing requests, and we will absolutely see you in the next explainer.